Welcome back, everyone. We're gearing up for our final match of the day here in the Oriental Sports Center. We're about to see Turkey SuperMassive get back onto the Rift, and they're going to be taking on LPL's Royal Never Give Up.
Yeah,
almost slipped my mind, but that's because they played first in the day and last, which can actually be kind of a here or there for a team if they're not geared up, ready to go. But it's really all about Turkey SuperMassive kind of allowing what happened in the beginning of the day, just push it to the wayside. Know that played against one of the best teams, one that's probably going to go to the finals and move on.
Yeah, if Faker's right, though, and RNG is favored for second, which I'm not quite sure. Maybe he was slightly inclined to say that in this arena. But then SuperMassive is playing against the two toughest teams on day one. So that's going to be rough for them overall. RNG just looked good, though. Mada straight up hard carried that series.
Very much so. And everybody followed up as well. That's all the good calls going in, and everybody is right behind them. We saw it immediately on CLG in the mid lane. And something to note as well, there's a switch going on here for Turkey SuperMassive. It's going to be Fabulous in the top lane for Thaldrin. And we've seen him play as recent as the IWC Winter Tournament in the TCL. So he's back in. We'll see what he can do for the team.
I love that name. All player things aside, sometimes I wish I could go back into time, like names like Fabulous, like Smitty J.
Yeah,
some fantastic names.
Bring
overall.
him back.
I don't think the name alone will be enough to carry it, because he's going up against some really big names on the side of RNG, some players that are just enjoyable to watch overall. Think of Jahu, think of MLXG and their synergy. Just from week 1 and 2, when you used to watch RNG overall, it was just a feast for your eyes. So aggressive, so fun to see, and if they play that same style, they may just tear SuperMassive apart just from the get-go.
Do you almost feel like when you play up against that style and you know it may be a higher caliber, do you try to match it? Do you try to say, let's go punch for punch?
I mean...
Or do you just fall behind harder in that sense?
You just try to play your best, and in the early game, you're playing the laning phases, and if there's guys abusing it, you can obviously call him for a teleport, but if you're mechanically weaker and you just get outplayed and you try to react to the skill shot and they sidestep it, then yeah, you're done for. You just
it's what it is.
Generally, you just don't want to be the guy that feeds. You know, if you know you're gonna lose a game, it's like, at least my top laner was dead first. Now it's not my fault anymore.
Feels good when you're not guy feeding. So with picks and bans just moments away now, let's refresh those rosters. You know what it is. It's the roster rundown. Let's see who's going to be playing on this one. On the blue side of the Rift, it's TCL's SuperMassive. That's top lane, Fabulous in it now for Thaldrin. Jungle, Stomaged. In the mid lane, it's Naru with Achu and Dumbledoge at support.
Bless you.
Thank you. Hachi is coach as well.
And on the red side, obviously, from China's LPL, it's Royal Never Give Up. They never gave up in game 1, took it home. Top lane is Looper. Jungle is MLXG. Xiaohu in the mid lane. Whoosh on AD carry. Mata is their support and part-time shot caller. Fly will be coaching them. And honestly,
I'm not going to lie. Just every time I see that lineup, I'm like, damn, that
stacked.
That is a stacked lineup.
But still inconsistent, because it's not like RNG have always been the great team. They come out swinging sometimes, and sometimes they just disappoint. There's a series against World Elite. We've seen Looper go from fantastic poppy plays, where he was like one of the first people to really pick up that champion, to later in the middle of the season, he would teleport the lane, die, run back into the lane, die again. And we're like, Looper, please, we just praised you so much for all your plays and your champion picks, so please keep carrying.
It's not like the movie. You're supposed to stay alive.
Yeah.
You'll come back when that happens. The Alistar Bard out. Bard's actually seeing a lot of that ban love here, warming up the bench a little bit.
Yeah, Dumbledoge, obviously a really good roam-centric Bard player. And then we've seen a surprisingly large amount of support champion pool pinching. Usually it was restricted to maybe the Alistar to like then early pick up the Braum.
Yeah.
But we've seen like multiple support bans on different sides here, and that actually forces a lot of teams to dig a lot deeper.
Italy only seeing about a game or two of play today here in the early parts of the day. Kindred now getting banned out. Really one of the first games we're getting a bit of jungle focus to put the junglers on something else.
In the tournament so far, priority picks that are left generally means like an Echo gets picked up early here.
Yeah.
However,
Echo, Graves, Gragas,
because of the early pinch on the junglers and the two tier 1 junglers are out, Graves goes up in market value too.
That's true.
So that's what the Turkish region here represents a little, or wants a little bit more comfortable jungler here, to then hopefully have a stronger 2v2, whether it's top 2v2, mid 2v2, because that's getting increasingly more influential.
Taking their time. Oh, two very big pickup. If RNG decides to go with that.
Technically a double flex, but very unlikely that it'll be Echo mid, rise top.
They both say we want to fight, and that's LPL.
Yeah, that is one thing RNG is good at. It's almost to their detriment. They can snowball a game, but their macro in the mid game is just ask the Fisio. It's atrocious. Usually, it's if there's one thing he whines about all the time, but it's true. They are unable to really close out a game by virtue of rotations and pushes. They just look for picks.
Yep.
In the early game, it's nice. In the mid game, it gets a little boring. It's fine to split pusher for RNG. They find you on the map, kill you, and then play the rest of the map 4v5. So if you can pivot around that, you have a chance. I'm not quite sure if SuperMassive is just quite at that level though.
Said, what if they played the game that LPL plays? But I think playing their own is really good. What's going to work for them?
I mean, they could opt in for a very heavy team fight here. They have the foundation. They have Maokai in a top lane, potentially Graves. I don't think they'll go for Poppy and the Maokai, so they're looking for a more dueling top laner with a teleport in, not a straight up team fighter that comes like from the front like the Maokai. Pick up one of the strongest AD carries that's still in the game. Lucian, very lane dominant player. I think that's the right choice to go for SuperMassive. Don't go for big macro. See if you can win your lane.
Could be the Lee Sin. We haven't really seen the play come out yet. And a jungler of Graves on the other side for Stone. Graves 5-1 over the season in the playoffs for himself. So, or rather, their IWC tournament, I should say.
Yeah, MLXG played a lot of Lee Sin, or played some Lee Sin in weeks 1 and 2. Don't remember just quite which one it is. It was Lee Sin Lysandra that they played. And they just kind of locked down the enemy mid laner, chain CC'd him to death, and then snowballed the map from there. MLXG and Giles, whose synergy together is really fun to watch because they just take dominance of the mid lane and then translate that advantage over the map, dive the bot lane, dive the top lane, put pressure everywhere.
That Crepo, we thought it may come in. The TK is there. Tom Kench gets picked as well as the Lee Sin. And we thought if anybody would make this composition, it would be Royal Never Give Up.
This is a wonky comp though so far. No wave clear.
Exactly.
I mean, Rise has some, but he has to walk up to the minion wave at least. Very skirmish oriented.
So whoosh, counter pick, boom.
The 80 carry counter pick. Surprise.
What do they got on the side of Turkey? SuperMassive. Is it some SuperMassive picks? That Fizz could be doing some work. Lysandra as well, a playmaker. What does Naru want in that mid lane?
Mata came in the lobby and he wrote Naru Fizz God in chat, so maybe it's just an homage. Likely not going to be the Fizz being picked up here. If that is Fizz and Lysandra,
there it is. There it is.
That means it's Poppy support. Yep. Poppy pivots to the support role. Dumbledore will play that. I've seen him play it in solo queue. He's decent
loves
at it.
He did it at IUCI as well. That Bard, that Poppy, he always roams. Anything that can give him speed, and his Bard's been banned out. He's one of the one of the supports that spends the least amount of time with his AD carry because he loves to be off and helping the team.
Yeah, he's actually under 50% time spent in the early game. Like between 3 and 15 minutes, he spends less than half the time within the 1000 range of his AD carry.
It's like, bye-bye.
So that means Atsu is just on his own. He's playing on an island. A little bit annoying. Hopefully, Dumbledore will put the necessary pressure then. Very interesting composition that they've drafted together here. Very pick-oriented. Not the greatest team fight, but, you know, in like 2v2 skirmishes, Lysandra and Fizz can really shine.
Is it the Sivir? It will be the Sivir. That Whoosh's Ezreal pretty far down on his list in plays, but that Sivir up there as well. RNG loves to go forward, and that helps put the pedal to the metal. Extremely scary composition for them to bring out.
And it's actually not even Naru that's going to be playing the Fizz. It's going to be top lane Bruiser Fizz likely.
Ooh, good call.
Interesting to see what the build's going to be. Is it going to be like the Triforce Rush? Do they go super tanky? We've seen variations on it over time. Haven't seen it in ages though.
What would you go for looking at this build? Because he is going to have to be a pretty resilient against this team overall.
I'm no Fizz expert, man. I dabble,
you don't play Fizz support?
I dabble in the cheese, but not to the point where I know all these builds. I think it also depends on the flow of the game. Generally, when Fizz falls behind or is in a lane swap, he can't afford to go like any of these Triforce builds because the peak comes too late. So if it's standard lanes and he snowballs a little bit, he can go for damage-oriented builds. If not, he will just go annoying Bruiser Tank Fizz, who doesn't really accomplish all too much.
Just a bit annoying. All right, the coaches leaves their players now to head to the Rift. Our final game of the day. Let us know who you think is ending the day with a win. Tweet hashtag SUP win or hashtag energy win at LOL Esports. We'll tally those up as usual, I promise.
Yeah, that we do.
That we do.
We do tally very well.
You know, you never know it's before or after Keystones. It's a mystery. But 6 games today is not, and we are in game number 6 here. It is the International Wildcard Champions, Turkey's SuperMassive, going up against LPL's Royal Never Give Up in our final match of the day. And Crepo, we are on the Rift.
Yeah, on the Rift, and the stage colors a shade of orange. I believe it is.
Indeed.
SuperMassive.
A delicious mustard.
Delicious mustard color. Mustard orange stage, which means the Turkish fans overall had more icons, relatively speaking, because obviously in absolute numbers, China technically wins just by a small margin.
You could say that.
A couple million.
But everybody loves Turkey.
Yeah.
So vote for it.
Oh.
The fans sure are. And
Mata.
Ward down as well.
surprise.
Very nice to have that there. They can add more pressure. Exactly what RNG wants to do here in the early game. So Dumbledore and Aku both in the bot lane now.
They're looking to kill another ward here. Dumbledore. Oh, Rai starts W just to mess with him.
A flash as well, and Dumbledore is down.
That's a message from Zhao Hu. He's saying, I'm going to start snare just to make your day a little worse than it was leading up to this moment. And they just kill out Dumbledore. That doesn't mean Nauru gets a free push, though. There's nothing a W start Rise is actually going to do against that push.
They still have support of the icons. The
Yeah.
stage is with them. The fans are with them. And we can still see SuperMassive come up with some plays here. Royal's not going to make it easy.
Damn, good trade.
That's
That's actually the best thing he can do is an auto W auto trade, and he nails it. Now we're not going for the AFK shove here. Woosh just showing his face like, guys,
small.
please step away from the Krugs.
Yeah.
Just gonna lane.
It's making it tough for him to walk up and actually
come
get the
on.
Qs on the minions that he's hitting.
Just shove now. Shove like you've never shoved a lane before.
Yeah.
Get level 2. Put him under the tower.
So it actually isn't Storm Raider Search for Xiaohu. Interesting. Huh.
I mean, it's a variation. When Rise first came out, we saw some
Little
Strength
health.
of Ages,
Yep.
and we saw some Thunderlords for people that really wanted to get the all-in burst. Then with the Storm Raiders buffs as well, we saw some people play that.
Yeah.
I personally really like seeing Storm Raiders because it throws people off guard. They have certain expectations, certain patterns that they're used to, and then suddenly you're Turbo Rise, and you can surprise people.
Gotta go fast. Nice trades in the bot lane here.
Steps back into it.
It happens.
Actually was a bit of a masochist. Needs the pain to keep going.
Feel like you're gonna win the trade, but come out empty. There's still no sustain in this bot lane, so they keep going at each other. That health, or that damage I should say, is going to stick. Just a miss by Mata. Dumbledore kind of wants to aggress and punish, but there's not much he can do here with melee supports in the lane. Oh, the flash forward onto Naru. And Naru actually holds every summoner there.
Yeah, he knows if he flashes, he's still dead.
Yep.
MLXZ still had a flash available and red buff, but here, Zhao Hu moving up,
Just
W, and to secure the Q auto attack, he just flashed in his face. And that's a synergy. That's what we saw very often, and they make it look easy, and they make Naru look bad. But honestly, MLXZ together with Zhao Hu is a fantastic mid-lane jungle pairing, and we have quite a few of those here at MSI. We had Trick and Perks, but sadly they're a shade of their former selves. We also have Karsa and Maple, who are just a joy to watch overall. But if you want to watch some of these early games from RNG, week 1, week 2, definitely go do so if you're starting to like this team. It was so much fun to watch them play, like Lee Sin, Lissandra, LeBlanc, Lee Sin, LeBlanc Graves even. They completely dumpstered Easy Hoon one of the matches. Just made him disappear quite a few times.
nice hit. Fabulous goes for Playful and Trickster. On the Time Winder back, Looper staying in this one. That's the shield. That's the reduction that was there on the changes.
Oh, he wants it.
He's thinking about it.
He wanted to flash Q in, but obviously with the new Fizz Q, it's flashable. So the damage doesn't apply. That's why you can no longer do that. Or any dashes also make it so that you no longer apply that Q flash here. Mata goes in for an aggressive flash.
Very close to being able to nom up Dumbledore with MLXG right there to get that kill. Xiaohu and MLXG, actually, I watched back it with the Naru play, and they literally timed Claw Farm. They said, all right, he used it again, he used it again, come on this one, you're close enough. And they completely took him out with that.
That's a major mistake. You can't afford to use your Claw in a matchup where the only counterplay is him walking up and snaring you.
Yeah. Definitely took control of that one. Very nice spell shield from Whoosh, and they're gonna go in, but Dumbledore comes from the brush. Take up Whoosh, put Whoosh back in front, just in range. Oh, the relentless pursuit from Hachu coming up huge. He doesn't really have the mana to do much, but you don't need mana to fire your gun. And that's all he needed to do. Dumbledore picks up a double kill.
And Dumbledore actually gets the kill credit because he did the last damage there, but he just really did not want that great health to be transformed right there. Double kill for Dumbledore. Whew. Game's only 600 gold apart. I mean, one more mistake from RNG. No, it's not it.
It's been tough. We haven't really seen Skirmish really out of the jungle too much either. And right now he's being toyed with MLXG, trying to pull him in for Xiaohu. Whoa. Very aggressive coming in from Naru. And it looks like with those safeguards Q's used, they knew they had the upper hand in the fight for the moment and tried to take that advantage. Aggression in every lane, and SuperMassive is trying to stand toe-to-toe with this.
Yeah, he's gonna trade with Lupa here.
Is that a one more? Oh, he got it! And he stays alive! Absolutely fabulous.
You can't flash the Q, but you can't flash the auto attack if there's vision where you flash to. If you flash over a wall where there's fog of war, you will cancel that melee auto attack, but otherwise it will travel here. Mata gets a little over eager, goes for the Whoosh delivery system, could walk out. That exhaust is honestly very early because it's out by the time Hachu trades back, so that's actually a mistake for Mata, and it cost him his life later on here, granting the fabulous double kill for Dumbledore.
Shoot him! It wouldn't have actually killed him if he
It was the right place.
So many close millisecond plays, things that can happen here in this game so far.
And we're getting access to our skirmish tools here. Look at the tomb here, level 6 Naru, level 6 Fabulous. He can now look for more all-ins. So in these 2v2 exchanges, 3v3, like small skirmishes, SuperMassive actually stand a chance. In team fights, the denial that Mata can bring, he can eat whoever's fished up, he can eat whoever's in a frozen tomb, but he can reset the fight, and obviously slightly stronger team fight composition from RNG. That's what they're looking for. But SuperMassive, if they can keep making picks, wow, they can maybe throw RNG off guard.
Hachu, pretty strong play on that Lucian. 0-1-2, but making sure that he is adding damage whenever he can, trying to get the lane advantage in. Gulp.
Nope, denied.
No, sir.
I wonder what Dumbledore was expecting to happen there. I mean, you're playing against Tom Kench.
Yeah. Teleports are a bit desynced on the side of Royal Never Give Up. If SuperMassive is keeping control of that, they'll have both of theirs to make something happen. The teleport to the top lane for Fabulous is where he grabbed his kill, so it would be great to just be able to repeat, rinse and repeat every time that starts happening.
Yeah, Xiaohu really did not like that range creep. Snared it, took it down. MLXG looking for a flank here. He needs Fabulous to get baited into the trap. He needs Fabi to go a little aggressive, but...
I want to see that playful trickster.
Yeah, once that goes down, that's the go signal.
So Looper and Naru gonna match teleports here. Support known, needed. Danger Will Robinson, our blue is being stolen. It looks like MLXG is gonna make off with that one no matter what.
Yeah, blue's being traded here.
Yep.
Both junglers seem to know that. They're in each other's jungle.
Easy grab for that. CS is quite even throughout all the lanes. It's when that play comes in. We haven't seen any real objective focus here from either Royal or SuperMassive.
And RNG can't go for the dive in the top lane because there's a teleport advantage for Naru, so he can show up, and it's also a fizz. Very tricky to just go for that dive.
Fizz playing very well in his subbed-in game as well. Like we said, it was the TCL playoffs pretty much last time we saw Fabulous. And the team is just really ready to actually put him in starter with Aldrin, as he was kind of coach as well. And now he is playing phenomenally against Looper in the top lane. Looper still has aggression on this one, but the play takes this long, Crepo. You gotta wonder what the real game is.
I mean, MLXG is coming in here, but Fabulous.
Oh, he connects it!
He goes down. Naru just walks up. He teleported to a ward in the river.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get there. That was good. Like playful trickster from Fab if it wasn't isolated 1v1 because he dodged the parallel convergence, connected his ultimate, but it just shows you need to fight with your jungler nearby.
Yeah.
At this level, you can't afford to just go for pure 1v1 skirmish unless you know exactly where the enemy jungler is.
And we haven't seen much of the jungler. Stone's kind of just been hanging out, really not showing much of himself. We said that Dumbledore usually doesn't spend that much time with Achu, but they've been here actually quite aggressive on the lane.
They've learned how to keep him in lane. Just give him a few kills.
Yeah, give him a few.
This is a good exchange here. Lupo does a really good ultimate, so the
Great ultimate.
kind of disappears in place, and then he gets out of that. Then here parallel conversion comes out, but he goes up, down. At the point, conversions is out. But then obviously the plot thickens, and Fabulous realizes it was all an elusive bait. He dies.
And that's what we almost were saying, that these are disjointed teleports. This is the play they're going to need to work on, and somehow Royal slips in their own strategy. They're able to just take it to the lane, and MLXG has been topside multiple times, knowing that Fabulous was able to put a bit of a hurting on Looper. But Looper still staying up in CS, still keeping himself consistent, now starts to stack up that seal once again.
Doing better than Thaldrin. Thaldrin had that really close trade against Duke, almost got him down.
Yeah.
Duke teleports back in, almost gets him again, and then dies, and that was it. That was curtain call. He dropped down multiple times, twice, 3 times in a row. That's why now Fabulous is subbed in, and he's doing a lot better. Staying even against Looper. Honestly, not one of the worst top laners out there.
You can see SuperMassive recognizing that strength of Fabulous, giving him more vision top lane, as well as a little bit of jungle pressure from Stomage. He's going to start farming out the jungle of MLXG, while this bottom lane continuously going hard back and forth at each other. Is normally seeing a blinking red champion bar down here. Right now it's Mata's.
And you saw Mata go for the sweep here in the lane, making sure there's no teleport wards. They pinged it out, so they now are almost sure that there's no teleport wards behind them, which means they can play up.
Oh, all right. So SuperMassive actually going hard. MLXG was already in the bot side. It was only going to be a few more minutes before they planned their attack, and it looks like SuperMassive actually was the catalyst to RNG's attack. They just made it happen quicker.
Yeah, they went in and they got countered. That's exactly what they were hoping for. MLXG was already waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
And if you're at enemy bot lane, then
He's
goes
been
aggressive.
everywhere.
You say thank you very much. Yeah, MLXG is a really good carry jungler. Don't put him on tanks, please. Let him play these aggressive type junglers. Look for openings with when the enemy team has like minimal vision. Put him together with strong CC champions too, so you can layer the CCs or just have raw all in. It's a very fun player to watch overall.
Spicy. Spicy, you could say.
Spicy hot pot.
Spicy hot pot. 12-12 on the clock. That means Dragon number 1. For what reason, I don't know. It was just 12-12. 5-3. Bit of 1,000 gold lead here. The Dragon 1 does not mean much just yet. Whoa, Naru puts himself on the backside, says, might not have wanted to press E, but I did. It happened. Double Doja's coming in. It doesn't. What actually looks like is happening is they're not relaying how much time they're taking to get to each other within these fights.
Also though, it's almost disrespect from Jahu, because if you see Lissandra use her Ice Claw towards you, you have to assume the jungler is there to help.
Yeah, it's true, and he just
That was like the
tall.
mind game from Naru, but Jahu just says, he called the bluff. It's like, well, I don't think your jungler's here. You're just gonna lose this trade. Jahu
was
just
right.
stands.
It was a support.
fast. Yeah, well, better be right if you make that call though. If you call that bluff, you better be right.
Very true.
Otherwise, you did.
Everybody came out on top. Bit of a dangerous play, but just a few scratches, flesh wounds, and back to it.
Tis but the scratch.
Indeed. 127 as Naru starts to pick up a bit of that CS, being able to just scream and Q the CS away. Actually causing Xiaolu to lose a bit here, so he's definitely going to be able to create that gap for himself. But are the items finished first? You know, he's not the one stacking a tier, going to be able to stay in the fight, just throwing out damage the whole time.
Yeah, and Jahu also going for the early Merc threats, delaying the Route of Ages. Just saying, I really just want to be able to get out of that CC, make sure I don't die.
Very deep pink wards already here from RNG. They've made sure to get eyes on the prize. And it doesn't look like those are being touched anytime soon. Stomage actually isn't really in a position to be checking all that. He's farming and trying to make sure he's keeping up.
Yeah, I had to double check that pink ward here. Let's see for the trade for Whoosh goes down, Mata picks him out. The pink ward in the enemy jungle is actually not from MLXG. It felt like a Mata special, and it is. That was Mata's bread and butter in week 1 and 2 and 3 as well, because when everybody switched to Sidestone Rush, he was still going for mobility boots with a Ruby Crystal. He would walk in, place his trinket, and a pink ward. That was it. That was all the vision he had, but he made it work.
Scary bit of aggression. Oh, they try to pull in the fight of MLXG and Naru on the other side, but Dragon's Kick gets him away.
Naru, what are you doing? He's at the wrong side of the rift. He gets behind them and then claws over them.
He's always coming out of the woodwork.
And then Mata goes for the belly flash. Gets the help from the shield from MLXZ, but that honestly was a bit of a misplay from SuperMassive. They had an opening right there, but they were a little bit too eager. And Mata just simply carries his Frodo out of there.
Xiaohu is just in Naru's mind right now. He's saying, I know what you're going to do. You try to get cheeky plays, get over the wall. I'm still going to try to do as much as I can to you in harass. I will not let up. And being relentless starts to just wear on your physical and your mental.
Yep.
Having somebody like Xiaohu continue to be in your face, and he is doing so right now, sitting on about 1,000 gold and happy with it. He can still fight with that gold in his pocket. There is no danger for him here.
When you know the enemy's just slightly disrespecting you or going for a little more like extravagant plays, that's when you kind of want to punish them even more, but you buy into the trap, you know, and you go for the risky plays. That bot lane teleport, though, was a nice setup from SuperMassive, but they should have punished that. They should have gotten away. There with at least 1 kill, maybe even 2, but just misplays. And it does look like Naru is feeling the pressure from the stage. He's a player that has been around, honestly, European, like solo queue for absolute ages, but he never made it to the big leagues, never delivered in Challenger or LCS.
All right, MLSG going hard. Oh, they both flashed to each other. Naru's going to be going down. It looks like Stone's going to make it out of this one, but SuperMassive is kind of can't find a way to stop the bleeding all the way around the map. It's one hit here, and they're really just not able to stop what's happening from RNG right now. Again, a fight towards the bot lane. The exhaust to keep him in range. The 1-2 and the chomp. He doesn't even like he'll eat him up. Oh, he does. He says, this one's going to be mine. They're onto the turret. They're past it now. Dumbledoge is going to try to fire away, but Looper staying close is going to be coming up with a kill. He has had a very slow top lane game. But Looper gets in through his teleports and gets in through the team fights, and that's what he's going to do again.
Yeah, everybody wants just a piece of the action here in the bot lane. This time RNG come out ahead. Mata gets 1 kill. Then Xiaohu flashes over the Poppy ultimate. Secures a second here. Turret falls in the mid and top though. So that's the gold. Still relatively close here. Yeah. SuperMassive still going to pick up 1 more tower here. Goes out. So within 1,000 gold reach of each other. And it does look like we're going to see Tank Fizz.
We'll see this fight one more time. MLXG, look, they don't even have vision past this, so they don't know that Naru's here, but they are confident enough to just keep going.
It is Naru's flash, so that kind of secures the 1-for-1. So at worst, they go 1-for-1 with a flash being used.
Yeah.
Maybe if Naru flashes in and self-casts ulti, actually, they can buy more time and Fat Fabulous can join the fight. Here we have the trade in the bottom lane though. Really good use of exhaust from Mata. Keep an eye, he target switches right here instead of greeting for the 3rd stack on double doge. And then he just throws actually just enough to secure and deliver him. Look at Xiaohu, he knows it's coming, so he just flashes out. Just in case Looper uses ulti in a panicky way.
And a fantastic move by SuperMassive to see the opening in mid and the opening in top. Really, getting nothing out of that is what hurts. And what sometimes we see when a team is down a lot, you're not kind of representing the correct play at the time. You think of it 5 seconds after, and that's too late.
Yeah, they have the basics down, like the cross maps, etc., because they do play, honestly, a lot of European solo queue, so they know all these pro players that from the LCS teams, and they play a lot against European challenge teams in scrims. But now Xiaohu, 2v1.
Throws down that speed. Xiaohu, does he have enough to get out of this one though? He's trying to go back, keep that spell reel going. And he does take down Naru, but I think this might be another trade. We see Mata coming down, Dumbledoge just on the side. I thought he was going full for it. He pulled off 1 step late. But Fat Fabulous holds it. SuperMassive now going to pick up Dragon, and they may even get bottom turret as well. Atru does have ultimate in mid lane, so that should be safe.
Yeah, they're looking for a trade for bot lane tower versus top lane tower, because now it's Looper is the one cross-mapping here on that play. Obviously, teleport advantage was there for SuperMassive. They're aggressively TPing in, and I think that's good to do, to see overall that they're not hesitating. Despite making some failures or some mistakes rather and having some failures happen, they're still being aggressive here, not taking their foot off the pedal.
This guy's making some plays.
Really want the tower.
Oh yeah, of course. Get that gold. Spread it out towards the team. See how much they're actually sitting on. 1,400 on Fab Fabulous in the top lane, so he's got some to spend. Abyssal Voyage looks like it's going bot lane. Well, top, more action. I am absolutely loving MSI. Anytime there's one fight, it's a coast to coast. There's a fight on the other side of the rift.
MLXG.
And MLXG once again getting spicy in the jungle. He comes up big with another one.
Yeah, that's why you don't tank that tower until you're 40% HP here. The Tom Kent says, get in my belly. Abyssal Voyage goes to the bot lane. Who is debating the odds.
He saw the stutter step. He was balking.
He's like, team, can I? He's like, no. International tournament. Take it serious.
That's true. That's true. Calm down. Look, you'll have a free turret in a second. Just throw some magic at it, even though you won't do that much damage. Mid lane's being pushed up. That's where the pressure actually isn't getting any respect. SuperMassive has too many down, and now they are being spread thin. So for just getting all the turrets in their favor, here comes that gold spike now as RNG actually picks up all that gold left up in the outer part of the map.
Yeah, 12 kills right now. Again. Let's see what happened over here. RNG just really good at making picks everywhere. So Naru walks in. He uses the Ice Claw preemptively to get out there, like the worst possible scenario here, the darkest timeline. And then Looper opts in for the dive. Does he have ulti? He must ulti himself here. Nope, just simply doesn't ulti. He's still on cooldown.
90% cooldown.
Complete outplayed here by Looper. Naru not having a great series or tournament so far.
The Dark Seals continue to stack now, and that was actually tried to match by Fab Fabulous, as it would be. Looper up to 7.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Looking for 10. Not 11, despite the graphical indication.
It is there.
He can trick the best of us.
Distortion boots for him on that teleport means he's going a lot quicker. That's something Fab Fabulous does not have yet, and we have actually just hit the 20-minute mark, so Home Guard is very much a thing now that can be used in these attacks. Looks like they have a few wards that pinged across the river, and it doesn't look like they can get that vision just yet. So RNG just sets up at Baron, and we'll see what they can do around the river. SuperMassive looking to stop this right now and stave off the aggression of RNG.
Yeah, and in the scope of the tournament, this is actually where we can gauge a little bit whether RNG's closing ability has changed a little bit.
That's a good point.
Because they are favored to win this match. Everybody expects them to. It's just the manner in which they do it.
And you have a Sivir this time, so there's almost like no excuse to be able to make what you want happen.
Clean macro plays as opposed to find a split pusher. That's what they usually do, RNG. They just walk to a lane, hope the guy doesn't see them coming, and kill him. Surprisingly, works very well in the LPL.
Go figure. Yeah. Go figure. Parallel Convergence is out. Looks like Fab Fabulous will make it out of that, though. And this is going to be a tough fight. The Iceborne Gauntlet will not let Fab Fabulous out. And this is going to be a coast-to-coast fight. There won't be one on the other side of the map. Everybody's walking up to participate. The teleport comes in a little too high from Naru. Can the team make it there? Mada's going to be the focus, but that's the Grey Health, giving everybody else time to run in. Looper goes down with his flash. And that's going to be 43 seconds.
Yeah, why rotate to the bot lane? Why set up any place? Make you can just simply brawl your way out of there. RNG. They look for the split pusher. They find him. And they find Looper's inevitable demise too. A little bit of a mess up there. And yeah, that's what we're used to seeing from RNG. Fantastic at making picks in the early game, which makes it very fun to watch. They continue to look for picks in the mid game.
This is where a little bit of that not having the vision past where the fight is happening is biting them in the butt. They continue to run in. Yeah, that ward's still there for Mada, but they haven't done any fighting over there.
It is also a multi-language team that is communicating primarily, to my knowledge, in English, since they have some Korean players and obviously some players communicating in Mandarin. So it's very, very tough. So they have limited vocabulary that they can use, and to then see if they can explain to each other complex concepts, like split push, like, okay, this wave is here, I'm pushing on the second, like, I need this much time to get the push in, I have pressure, I need vision, etc., etc. That's very hard to communicate in pings. But like, ping, 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 this guy, surprisingly easy. So maybe it's not a strategy born out of incompetence, but rather out of a necessity.
Yeah. Well, it is the necessity, SuperMassive, to pick up some wins here. It is definitely going to be a difficult tournament with the amount of power, but they're showing very promising here in the early games, times where they can start to take a hold. It's the times where a team will find that teleport play, will catch you one out of position because of the forward warding. Is where it seems SuperMassive doesn't have the recuperating skills as other teams would have to kind of sure something up like that.
Definitely not. They're lacking here another. Naru needs to stop using his Ice Claw when Echo's coming in. This is the second time. Good players learn from their mistakes and players that are a little bit on tilt or just struggling keep making the same ones. Now we're just forced to use his ultimate again, and that's worth it for Looper, because if it comes to a teleport fight right now, not only does he have teleport advantage, when Naru then arrives, doesn't have the ultimate anymore. Good vision denial here too in the river. The pink ward should move up a little bit for RNG if we're being critical, but it's a good first step, you know.
Yeah.
They have the right target in mind, the Baron. The goal usually is, though, according to a lot of LPL pundits, that RNG don't actually want the Baron. They just use it as a
They just
lure.
want to fight.
They just want you to fight them
It's
at
the
Baron.
carrot on a stick.
Yeah.
And the thing, you have to think a team like RNG as well that fights so much, always has a mind on those ultimates. Lissandra ult is now down.
Oh.
What other windows can we get and open up?
They are a fantastic team to watch when the team fights. When they know the team fight is coming, they're an absolute joy to watch. When they get surprised and they have to think on the fly, especially when certain members get caught out, then RNG have shown, even in the finals against like EDG, that they have been a little lackluster. But if they know the fight is coming,
On their terms.
and the enemy team sees it too, they will likely just win, because they can individually outplay you. In their playoff finals against EDG, they won many fights by the merits of some of these players, like Looper or Jahu.
All right, Looper, you might be biting off a little more than you can chew. And it looks like he gets out and brings the whale back to the water.
You would think normally when 4 people collapse on a top laner, a team would go to Baron.
No.
It's not in the page here.
Like, wait, there's a fight happening over there.
Guys, you gotta help him. Move away from Baron.
Ultimate there from Xiaohu just to get over to blue, make sure he can soak that up and continue to be the machine gun mage in the fights that they... Oh, he says, wait, I took the wrong path. Hang on. For a second, think that.
MLXC is looking for a flank here, bottom right.
Oh.
No, Fabulous now back at it, dueling with Looper.
Living under his parallel convergence. Fabulous gets hit by that. Playful Trickster to phase dive. Both have their little gap closers to get the safety. Ooh. Wow, flash in here. Looper's gonna have to use the Time Winder. He definitely doesn't win this fight in HP or damage. It's gonna be one more hit. Chrono breaks back as he tries to slalom through the minions and get Fabulous locked up.
Oh, Naru's coming though. Hurting the cattle here. One on the left,
Phase
one on the
dive.
right, but there's a fight in mid lane.
Wow, Looper gets out alive, and what happens? Somebody becomes the caboose, and they get taken down. That's gonna be their Thunderlord's hit. The flash as well from Looper, and his Dark Seal has been nullified.
Yeah. Baron go to stacks here. They're pinging the Baron here. Mata's right there. Team's not really on the same page. Looking for a Baron bait. Complete fog of war here. Stomached. Whew. Hello?
Oh, Kench making him clench. So much has to get out of that one. 13-7. He uses flash. Everybody has almost used out summoner spells on the side of SuperMassive, but they still want to fight. We see Achu popping on the bottom side. Fabulous trying to take a 2v1 as the team comes in to help him. Will they be able to take down Mata? It's Xiaohu next, and he is dancing in and out of the brush right now. He's got the blue suedes on, and it looks like he's going to dance right back into this one. Room Prison on Naru. He's back and forth with the hits. Great by Fabulous to deny vision there and keep the toy going. That's
Looper.
the teleport from Looper. Claw goes in. They will not take it as Dumbledore enters the fight once again. More people coming from the side. MLXG will come in as well. That's not going to hit, and he's forced to stay on the backside, but they will clean up the fight. It only took a matter of time. RNG loses 2, but SuperMassive loses 4.
Yeah, what an incredible fight overall. A couple of really nice plays and then some crucial missteps or jukes, call it what you want, that turn it in the end. The end result is that RNG is starting his Baron. Double Doge is looking for some extra juicy kills, but unless Xiaohu runs out of mana just right here, I don't think he's going to get anything. Q-Smite is ready for the lockdown. I really like the ultimate that Naru did there on the Tahm Kench, because if you put the ultimate on an enemy, whenever somebody walks in the zone, they still take damage. So when Naru got automatically, or when Lucian got popped out of that Tahm Kench belly, he died instantly. Later on, they'll see that. A little bit of... We're in the Matrix right now. Let's go deeper. This is Jahu being zoned out to the right. Achu gets gived here, so turn around here. And this is MLXG and Jahu working together again, you know, normally to turn. And this here, this is ultimate. Pop it to Mata. And then Whoosh falls out. The Sivir, not the Lucian. This is insta-killed. The fact that Mata buys some time here, right here, they could have gotten Jahu, but the call gets terminated a little early. And he's literally just 1v3.
I love the fact that this is actually still a fight. Like, nobody decided to walk away here. And look, oh wait, everybody can walk away.
Yep.
No, let's fight.
Step away from the fight.
Absolutely amazing.
Or it's just a siege.
pedal to the metal everywhere.
Neither team really wants to give up.
No, not at all. Active Baron, 5 of 5 members, already 2,400 gold. Just above pretty much the Baron gain and getting a few on the outside in CS. Nobody has Runic Affinity, so they're not going to be having a longer Baron. It looks like this will wear off in about a minute and a half. Perfect time for Dragon to come up, so they'll have all the waves pushed in, be able to back after this, and make that Baron or Dragon useful.
Well, look at the damage here. It's impossible for Naru to trade. He
He's
hasn't
just
even hit him.
He just took damage on like turret shot number 4. Oof. Still the pressure in mid lane.
Surprisingly good split push here by RNG, really controlling the map, splitting it up, making use of that double teleport, or just their individual like leads right now they have on certain members. Nobody can 1v1 Jahoo.
It's almost a time where you would like to have exhaust for a Xiao, or even for Looper coming in strong.
Hell, 2. 1's probably not enough.
Yeah, honestly. Or then you lose the double TP in that sense, so very difficult once this composition gets ahead, especially when you're playing against the Sivir. We haven't seen too much of that play coming out in the tournament just yet, but it is giving RNG a reason to continue fighting, and still the question stands is, when do they reach the Nexus? Is that still going to be cleanly done, right? We still have Barons to go through still that could be a go for broke, and those Dragons, if it doesn't come to take at the base.
It is still the same story. They're winning a lot of these fights due to really good performances by certain members. Xiaohu's now overstepping though. Let's see, Raid Boss Rise.
There's a GA on Xiaohu right now. He's definitely not going down immediately. The Abyssal Voyage came in almost like they knew this was going to happen, and they continue to drop members of SuperMassive. Whoosh rather, the only one to go down as they take the mid lane turret. And this is what RNG wanted. They start to open the map up even more, and now the base possibly.
Yeah, that has to feel really bad here. Xiaohu now gets Ice 2. Mata eats him up. MLC May drop gets knocked to the tower.
Good hit on MLXG. Life Grip and Lifeline are up, but he's not hitting anything. Still gets taken down by the inhibitor. And it looks like a double kill coming in for Looper. Gets himself going. No more Dark Seal for him.
That's a one-man army though here, that Rise. They caught him 4v1. They're calling Rise, 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 kill the Rise.
Just coming back with that Guardian Angel, and he's the max target to go on. These guys have always been within a certain range of each other. You know they're going to be popping out of the woodwork if you poke one of their players.
Yeah, RNG is always ready for a fight. Sometimes to their death.
See it here, one after the other. SuperMassive, they're trying to keep up though. Not trying to keep up, but what I meant is they are continuously fighting. They keep going in for those fights, and a lot of the times it comes down to the fact that RNG, they dodged a last skill shot. Now it's a little more than that. They have quite a lead, but in the early, SuperMassive was making the plays that could have counted.
This is the result of what you just said right there. Those earlier plays where they were just a little bit better, a little bit more prepared.
Right.
A couple outplays. Yeah, then your Rise gets fed, and at that point, he can solo carry these team fights.
Yeah.
Quick reaction, though. That Abyssal Voyage was buffered, and he came in really quickly, so they were ready for that play. But even if they were a couple seconds later, Xiaohu still, he uses Flash aggressively in that fight. And a lot of patience going in. Third Dragon now drops for RNG. They make some mistakes. They still have that 45 minutes, 5th Dragon available.
It'll be there. Everybody have a GA by then, I'm pretty sure.
I've seen quite a few games today go past the 40-minute mark.
Yep.
A couple of ones really close.
SKT's really been able to, the only one to buck that trend. All right, now 21-11, and even more kills during this game. You can see just what LPL brings to the table when a team tries to match it. There are wards in the base. I think teleports would be a little bit scary right now, but it would definitely take SuperMassive off guard, and they have the power to do so. But walking in is just as easy at this point.
If there's one matchup that will generate roughly 1 kill per minute, it is gonna be China versus the international wildcard. Both teams very keen on fighting. Macro is an option.
They did quite a bit early game as well, having Dumbledore just flash down immediately. Unfortunately, he came up with the double kill, but still able to come up on top of those plays when RNG thought they just had, we're going to take this, we're going to take this. Was not like that in the beginning. However,
it is such a stark contrast compared to SKT, how, yes, they ended up with a lot of kills too, but it was in a different manner. It was the way SKT dismantled G2 Esports was when making plays with almost no risk of failure.
Yep.
RNG kind of make these plays where it is like, nah, we're just better than you. I'll go fight you, that's fine. I'm just confident we were better players than you. They are.
It completely shows in their fighting every single time. It's usually a start fight of 1 or 2 people there, 15 seconds, 3, 4. Yeah, reel them right in. Just keep reeling it in. It's going to be difficult now for anybody to take down Xiaohu. He's pretty much just standing tall, raid boss in the front of these fights, clearing wards by himself and just creating solo pressure wherever he wants.
Yeah, RNG right now, they're shopping, filling those item slots, the gold they've acquired, and then they're looking for the next Baron here. Completely no wards whatsoever from SuperMassive. They've been locked into their base. At this point, they don't even remember what the river looks like. Haven't really been there anymore.
You don't know. Usually it's a good rule of thumb to never cross river alone. Always do it with a friend, but now that's leaving base. It gets scarier.
Panic Engage comes out on the support though.
A ward instantly put down by Mata for the TP to come in. That's going to be Xiaohu, and he's right on a Stomach. Looks like he's going to take him down immediately. SuperMassive is kind of waltzing in here, not able to do any damage, and Royal never give up, just turn around and start focusing the priority targets as if they just waltz in ready to be eaten up. Fabulous trying to do it on the out, to hit something up on the outside, but Looper's going to follow. Phase dive, and he connects with the second part of it. They're going to be on to the Nexus turrets. RNG looking very good on the home turf, and they're going to go 2-0 on day 1. Fantastic start to the day on Counterlogic Gaming from NA, and now looking to take down the IWCI champions from Turkey, SuperMassive. RNG takes game 6.
SuperMassive right now, they tie G2 Esports.
Yeah.
Bottom of the tables, 0-2. And RNG, and they tie SKT at the top of the tables there. The 2 teams that remain undefeated here in Shanghai.
And a step in from Fabulous. Definitely put an impact into that top lane. You saw there was a change. Looper had a run for his money there. Flash kills, flash plays, but the reaction of MLXG, then adding vision, adding priority to that top lane, making sure that didn't get any bigger. Then he just was all over the map.
Yeah, that one kill in the mid lane where Xiaohu walks up, snares, and then flash Q autos, and MLXG goes in when they knew the claw was down. That for me, that satisfied my inner MLXG fanboy, because he's done some fantastic plays throughout the year when you're watching. RNG overall, they kind of flunked that IM. It was disappointing. We were hoping like maybe they can play it, but then their lack of understanding or inability to play or to want to play the macro game was very apparent when they played some matches. I think it was against Fnatic that they just succumbed to like Rift Herald push on, the push swap again, Rift Herald in the bottom, and that is one of their weaknesses, but we saw also one of their strengths, just individual players. If you watch like Xiaohu's LeBlanc at the end in week 9 versus EDG in the finals, I think it was his Azir that made some really smooth moves overall. So these guys, they're mechanical, solid players.
And you're seeing that on now champions. They are banned out, have to be pushed to the side on, and now still feel comfortable in these plays. Fantastic matchup all around. I'm looking at the map still, and Mata's ward is still alive in that same spot. He didn't even move it.
It's a new one. I checked it.
Oh,
that's cheating. Don't lie to the viewers. Don't lie to the viewers, Riv.
But he likes that spot. That's what I'm going for.
That was his signature spot a lot of times here. Just a deep vision. Mata he's suffering a little bit right now by the fact that he can't solely control vision. Back when you could have as many wards as you want, it was almost impossible to play the vision game against him. But right now you're a little limited with 3, so he suffers sometimes. But he's still a fantastic player overall. But he was a little bit disrespectful though this game with just never disengaging, always going in. The early exhaust, it cost them a double kill on bot lane, but they could always bounce back. RNG never were too far behind this game.
And that's where confidence comes into play, and that's where their confidence shines through as well. So we're going to send it back to Dash and the guys for a look at Royal's win to close out the day.
Thank you very much, Riv. And yes, RNG picking up another win for themselves today against SuperMassive. But in all honesty, SuperMassive is the team that I want to talk about here. And Spawn, I'm coming to you first because we had some criticisms and some questions about this team after their first game of the day, particularly looking at the jungle and Stomach, the fact that he was relegated to that Gragas. Here they go ahead and they stab at the Graves. much better showing for him. Of course, it is at the expense of a Rise and Echo pick on the other side.
So a couple of things here. Yeah, they grabbed the Graves. That's fantastic. As you said, they did give up strong counter picks, but they also picked very heavily for lane. So I think that was actually okay because they obviously had a pick, at least Fab Fabulous did, in the top lane against that Echo in the likes of a Fizz. So I think that this is much more how I expected them to play. You know, grab a farming jungler and then just play strong lanes yourself and kind of allow Stomage to just farm up, get to the mid-game spikes, and then see if you can make anything happen in the team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. So good on them there. And then, yeah, you already touched on Fab Fabulous. Let's hit it again, though. Stronger laning out of him than from Thaldrun prior. So perhaps the player that they'll stick with throughout the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, I think it could still go either way, but they definitely are looking to have more games with him than they would have even seen at the IWCI. I think it's relatively promising for them overall, though. You look at how abysmal G2 looked today.
I mean, yeah.
You look how decently they looked against RNG. Like, there is some wiggle room here. And I mean, even in this game, there was a scary fight around the Baron pit that could have actually swung this game in their favor. So it looked kind of just like a standard-ish LPL game with obviously RNG being the stronger team, but not totally ruling out the fact that they'd be able to win.
And I think RNG kind of went into this game and they were like, Name's our Sivir player, so we're going to prove we can play Sivir, you know, we're going to prove we can play Tahm And I don't know whether they really proved any of these things. They kind of proved that they're strong mechanical players, and MLXG could definitely play Lee Sin still.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine that you want to maybe show some new picks for future pick and bans. That's fine. I think it's just clear, if a team comes in and like completely disrespects SuperMassive and like picks a troll composition, there's a good chance you will actually lose the game. And that's the key thing for SuperMassive here. They're definitely not out of the tournament. Same for G2, even though they look currently like one of the weakest teams with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, we heard earlier from Faker himself in that interview with Shox that he believes RNG might have the edge when it comes to snagging that second place spot in the tournament. He doesn't believe anybody's going to beat SKT, of course.
Surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. But do we feel, based on, I know, again, very early into the competition, but based on the two games that we've seen from RNG, that they're head and shoulders above the rest in terms of that race for second?
I don't think head and shoulders. I would say that I do, if I had to redo my prediction, that I did, and I hadn't listened to the car salesman over on my left here,
again,
I would have said that RNG...
Make your own opinions.
Yeah, I would say that RNG, by like a whisker, like the thinnest of whiskers, I think, is currently the second best team.
The best part about all this is I trusted what Spawn told me about saying RNG was good, and I didn't trust Deficio. So I'm happy with that.
Why do you disagree?
Because I don't think RNG has really shown anything other than a extremely poor game one against CLG that was so back and forth, and honestly, might as well have been a loss. And then we've been, disappointing start for RNG, 1-1, gave up a few kills against Supermassive, and then suddenly we won't be standing here because of one team fight.
So I do also have to say that like the first two games of the day still could have gone either way, and that influences our perception hugely. Like imagine if we would have seen...
If CLG was 2-0.
Yeah, and G2 could easily be 1-1 with Flash Wolves being 0-2. Like, these games hinged on single team fights. So it's still that incredibly close pack in the middle, but after today, G2 needs to get better because they look super sloppy and do seem
That's why I think they're the second best team, because LPL...
G2?
No, RNG.
that would be
because
weird.
LPL is the team that has the longest game time, like very, very long. They're used to scrappy fights, and they're used to one team fight deciding everything on the map at 40 minutes. Like, if you watch the LPL, lane swaps go wrong all the time, but teams somehow still crawl back in. People are stealing Barons left, right,
It's not
center.
a good thing.
Like,
I was about to say.
the LPL now, it's all about Baron steals.
No, but it's something about just Shanghai in general, maybe, because that's where it's played. Because this tournament looks very similar to the LPL at the moment, and RNG should be able to beat you with experience there.
This is why you cannot put RNG like above any other team right now if we look at the middle pack, because we will get more games like these. We will get some games where RNG will, again, win some fights, lose some fights, and they will not win the last team fight this time around. And they will be dropping games here and there. The question for me is just with G2 and the way they've been playing right now, if they play like they do against Flash Wolves the first 25 minutes, there's hope. You know, they can bounce back. It's still a long tournament. And it's not like CLG, Flash Wolves, or RNG are looking like world-class teams right now. Only SKT can say that.
All this tells me is that the results of this tournament are very uncertain, and that excites the hell out of me.
After one day, right? Like, it's a 5-day group stage, double round robin, and that's even before the bracket.
We have so many more games to play. Well, after one day of competition here in Shanghai, let's take a look at how the group stage is shaping up. Korea's SKT and LPL's Royal Never Give Up are starting out at the top of the tables with a 2-0 start. CLG and Flash Wolves each have 1 win apiece. And then Europe's G2 Esports and Turkey's SuperMassive still looking to get on the board after our first day of play. Now, G2 Esports will have a chance at their first win tomorrow as MSI 2016 continues with a transatlantic clash against CLG. Then we'll see SKT take on Royal Never Give Up, followed by the Flash Wolves versus SuperMassive. So those first 2 matches of the day, again, you talk about importance here. We're going to break that 2-0 tie in terms of between SKT and RNG, but also G2, they got to turn it on now.
Yeah. I mean, everything here for G2, honestly. If they go down 0-3, losing to both Flash Wolves and CLG teams they're fighting with to avoid that number 5 spot, everything then looks wrong. And the problems they had today, so much came down to communication and honestly a solo queue mentality in many ways. I don't know if that can be fixed overnight because you don't have any time to scrim or anything between these games. You just go back to the hotel and you talk.
You get some sleep, yeah.
Yeah, these are definitely long days. I mean, 6 to 7 hours of games. A lot of these teams have to be here beforehand as well. So you could play a few games if you really wanted to, but you have to worry about burnout throughout the 5-day double round robin group stage.
And I want to see if CLG can continue the team fighting part of their game and whether Caitlyn does get taken off the board, because we've seen 2 Caitlyn picks so far for Stixxay. I'm a believer now. I think it is one of the most annoying champions to play against from what I've seen. I think that they'll continue to pull that out. RNG have a huge match ahead of them, though. Game 2, if they cannot clean up any of their early game and this scrappiness that exists, SKT will beat them in 26 minutes if they play the way they did today, because RNG have been so sloppy.
This is something we didn't get to talk about because we didn't do an intro like for SKT and obviously G2 earlier today. But both G2, the way they've been playing against Flash Wolves, and also just past, if you look at the LCS, with a lot of over-aggressive moves, like a lot of high-risk, high-reward plays that can really backfire. RNG is exactly the same. Those kind of teams do not do well against SKT because SKT relies so much on being a much smarter team than you, much better shot calling and understanding when you go for these high-risk, high-reward plays, how do we respond? Like, if you go over-aggressive without a teleport, they will come down and they will kill you, like, instantly. They do not wait. So I think RNG has a very poor, should we say, style against SKT, and they really have to outplay them early on to do anything.
And I don't want to overlook that third game of the day, Flash Wolves versus SuperMassive. And we just saw a good showing by SuperMassive, and earlier we were commenting on the fact that Flash Wolves start slow. Yeah. What they have shown to us is that they went down in a deficit both games in that first 20 minutes. So SuperMassive can secure themselves maybe a strong laning phase. There's no reason to think that they can't come out with a win in that matchup.
100%. I also think that the Flash Wolves have shown that their top laner maybe isn't of the caliber that we thought he was before this tournament. MMD, I think, still has some question marks, and Fabulous played that last game, at least the laning phase, incredibly well. So there are holes that SuperMassive will be looking towards, thinking, you know what, we go early to 25, 30 minutes in this game, we can make a definite meal of it.
Yeah, and then we also, later in the day, turns out we have a lot of really good games at MSI.
Yeah, who would have thought?
The SuperMassive versus CLG match is really exciting, also depending on the results of the first match of the day, because these are 2 really good opportunities for SuperMassive to start picking up some wins.
Pick up a win and play spoiler in that race for the top 4. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our coverage begins tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. local time. That's 7:30 a.m. Central European Summer Time and 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday evening for those observing Pacific Daylight Time. Until then, we need to sign off. And on behalf of everyone covering the action here at Shanghai's Oriental Sports Center, thank you for joining us to kick off the 2016 Midseason Invitational, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.
We will finally get to see whether the expectations for this tournament meet reality.
Oh, that is fantastic from Royal Never Give Up. They've killed Huhi. He's down. Double kill for Woosh. And CLG are punished. Very good stun for Council Logic Gaming. A double kill for Stixxay. He manages to 90 caliber net. Finds the triple. Looking for the quadra. Show who's running for his life.
Trick could also steal. This is going to be another
And
steal.
it's stolen! Another Baron steal! Team fight's gonna break out. Kickers, he's taking a lot of damage. Trick is gonna buy as much time as he can with Lamb's respite, but it's Castle that comes out victorious. The Flash Wolves take down G2 for the first win at MSI 2016. He's still got the chrono break. It's stolen! It's stolen for the third time today! A Baron steal is in effect. Is the final push, Jack, as SKT, the pre-tournament favorites, turn their attention over to the Nexus. They drop the Nexus.
Need to kill them before they come in.
Barrel, he'll steal it.
Hey, shoot this guy. He goes for the ward.
Alright, hold on.
I'm going on them.
I'm going.
They can't go in, they can't go in.
Jake's got it.
I got them.
Let me out.
Let Jake do it. Do the Baron.
I got them.
I go in still.
Game 6A now for Moose standing toe-to-toe with Maple. And now it's Karsa. Karsa comes out. It's only a few shots from this many items on a Caitlyn. And that's going to look to be the necklace. The necklace. The necklace. The necklace. And the necklace. And he's gonna stay alive throughout. It gets the heal from Bang. They're gonna be going for the full fight. Summoners used across the board. The exhaust as well from Wolf, and they're locking down the priority target. 2 worlds, 5 OGN splits in a very possible run now to an MSI championship. More people coming from the side. MLXG will come in as well. That's not going to hit, and he's forced to stay on the backside, but they will clean up the fight. It only took a matter of time. RNG looking very good.